Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Wretched. This is a new tabletop RPG for breakout roles. Let me also get some of our actual background music going. Let me know if this is too loud, too quiet, whatever it is. And as you can see, we've got something, I don't know, my camera angles are not great. This thing over here, this Jenga tower, will be representing our ship today. This is a pretty simple tabletop RPG with some elements that we've never used before, like the Jenga tower. Also, we have a 1d6, and we have a stack of cards, all of which will be determining whether or not we survive this solo journey into the unknown. I think the music is a little... I'm gonna do something a little bit more musical. There we go. The music that we're listening to right now actually comes with the game. This game is available for $15, which is a little steep for most indie RPGs, but I think it's a pretty cool game. And it does come with this like 10-track soundtrack, and then there's like another folder with other music in it that we'll be listening to while we play. Basically, this is like a tabletop RPG version of Alien Isolation. It's a little reductive, but I think that's the best way to describe it for YouTube is essentially we are the sole survivor of a wrecked spaceship floating through space. The ship was torn up by a very, very powerful alien, killed all the crew. I threw it into an airlock before the game began, and I think I'm alone, but the creature's making a comeback. And so this game is basically about me trying to repair my ship and get away from this murderous alien before the alien gets back inside the ship and eats me. There's a little bit more to it than that, but we'll get into it in a sec. Essentially, I have to choose my name. I always end up playing as myself in a lot of these solo RPGs, but because this is a science fiction horror solo RPG, I am going to be RPing a little bit more, not playing myself. So, any suggestions in the chat for what my name should be? I don't have any stats or anything like that. I just need to kind of get with a name. I could be Amanda Ripley's daughter, because that seems to be the trend. Alien Isolation being Ripley's daughter, Amanda. Deviant Viennese says, that sounds like every trip to visit my aunt. Oh, I don't want to ever visit your aunt. What kind of aunt is that? I turned down my mic a little as well. I see I'm peaking a little bit. The music is a little loud on my end, but I think I also have my headphones are totally cranked. So let's turn that down to a reasonable volume. Any suggestions for names? I don't know, this just came to me from the ether, but I like the name Mariah. I'll be Mariah Ripley. I'll be the daughter of Amanda Ripley, because it is a rite of passage as a Ripley woman to be stuck on a spaceship with a murderous alien. So basically how this game works from a gameplay standpoint is I have this dice, or this die. I'm going to roll it, and however many 1 through 6 it lands on is the number of cards I will pull, and each of the cards tells me something that happens to the ship in that day, whether it be the creature, life support systems, the crew, memories of the crew, or something to do with the crew, or the other one is structures. So is the actual ship's physical hull and everything falling apart? Now, typically you're supposed to use a normal deck of cards for this. I'm using a tarot deck. I'm actually using my Cthulhu tarot deck. It's a little bit of a different tarot deck than I normally do in my tarot streams. This isn't a custom deck. This is my first deck. I bought it at Books A Million. I took out the major arcana, so it's just 4 suits, ace through kings. And I thought this would be fun because there's lots of monsters and stuff on it, because it's a Cthulhu deck. However, I will be, of course, changing up the suits. In this case, hearts, which are the life support systems, water purification and stuff. I'm going to make those cups, because cups hold water. Cups will be life support. Clubs are kind of similar to wands. Those will represent the crew. spades represent the creature. I'm going to make that swords because danger. And diamonds would represent the hull, the physical structure, repairing the ship. And so that will be what remains, which is the pentacles, discs, coin, whatever, the circular suit is that you want to call that in tarot. So essentially, with that in mind, we can begin. Also, what is this Jenga tower here for? So this represents my ship, and if it falls over, that means catastrophic failure and I lose. But we'll get more into that in a sec. I am the last surviving crew member of the intergalactic salvage ship, the Wretched. Adrift between stars after an engine failure, my ship was attacked by a hostile alien life form. The crew are dead. I thought I'd won. I launched the creature out of the airlock, and that should have meant safety. It didn't. Now, let's get to more descriptions, more early stuff. First off, I just want to say about safety. There is a safety notice in this. This is a sci-fi horror game. It's about, similar to Alien Isolation in terms of themes and tragedy and creepy factor. Event Horizon, The Thing. If you're okay with those things, you should be okay with The Wretched. But if those things really creep you out and trigger you, then maybe this isn't the right RPG for you. Some specific content to be aware of: confined spaces, physical injury, solitude, abandonment, death, hopelessness, futility of life, those sorts of things. Ultimately, this is a solo game, and I am the best arbiter of my own limits. I'm okay with this. I don't think there's anything in here that would bother me, or else I wouldn't play it, but I just want to give that content warning for anybody in the audience who is watching live or maybe watching VOD later. So, more background. The creature survived, somehow immune to the cold, empty black of space. Now it skitters and crawls across the hull of my ship. It seeks a way in, and it wants me. Probably not in marriage. Now it is me versus inevitability. Can I keep my life support systems going long enough to repair my distress beacon? With the beacon activated, can I keep the creature at bay long enough to be rescued? Probably not, but I'm gonna try. There are 2 ways of winning this game, and many ways to fail. The first way to win the game is to activate that distress beacon, survive long enough for somebody to hear it, and then continue to survive long enough for them to get to my ship and save me. The second option is to fix my engines and leave the creature drifting in my wake. So there's 2 ways to win. I can fix the ship and fly away, or I can focus on activating the distress beacon and waiting for somebody else to get to me. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I think that we can begin. So the start of this game, they say it'll be about half an hour. Usually on stream, I would say it's probably going to be about an hour. So expect to settle in for a good hour of sci-fi horror. Find yourself someone who wants you as much as this creature wants Mariah Ripley, says Deviant Viennese. And Austin says, could be a quick game. It may very well be. Like I said, they said 30 minutes, which is very short considering we're going through a whole deck of cards, but that Jenga tower over there could be very threatening. And the way it begins is we set up this block tower, roll the die, complete that many pulls from the tower by removing a block and replacing it on the top row. The tower represents the state of the ship at the beginning of the game. So, guess we'll start with that. You might notice that this music is very inspired by Nine Inch Nails. Apparently that was intentional. And The Wretched is actually the name of a Nine Inch Nails song, which immediately stuck out to me. So 2 is what I drew, thankfully. So my ship isn't in too bad of shape. Right from the bottom. Oh, there's one. Okay. Have you ever watched somebody else play Jenga? Apparently it's a nerve-wracking experience. I'm probably going to need to back up this camera a little bit too. We're going to see all of it as it grows. All right. So, if this Jenga tower falls at any time, a catastrophic systems failure results in my death and the game is over. If I do not have access to a tumbling block tower, I can, you can do this without that, but that just means you'll get eaten by the alien. At least I can get blown into the vacuum of space instead of getting eaten if this thing falls. I mean, maybe that's preferable. So shuffle the deck of playing cards and place them face down within easy reach. And we're going to record our first audio log before we begin actually playing. Creative use of the Jenga tower, says Pillowcat. Yeah, that's what kind of appealed to me about this game, actually. Oh no, there goes all my cards. That appealed to me about this game, actually, was that the Jenga tower added an interesting element that I'd never played with before. Like, I've done dice procedurally generated games multiple times on the channel. And I've done, tarot ones and other card-based ones, but I've never done Jenga. And this kind of combines all three, so it adds a lot of suspense, doesn't it? You want to do a horror game, add a Jenga tower. Pro Jenga strats. We're going to try to keep it alive as long as possible. I did turn up the music a little, so let me know if that's too loud. I think it's pretty subtle music, though. Okay. All right, audio log 1. Day 1. Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. The other members of the crew are dead. And the engine remains non-operational. The ship integrity remains good and life support systems are still active. I successfully jettisoned the intruder from the airlock, but it remains alive. It continues to try to access the ship. With a little luck, I can repair the distress beacon and somebody will pick me up. This is Mariah, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. All right, now we roll for day 2. We do a 2 again. All right, so we draw 2 cards. The 5 of Cups and the knave. What the hell is a knave? I guess that's probably a, what do they call them? A jack? A jack, right? I forgot there's pages in, oh, that's right, there's knights. So this would be the knight, so that would be, yeah, we'll call that a jack. We'll call knights jacks and we'll dismiss pages. How about that? I forgot that there's a little bit more to a tarot deck than a standard deck. All right, so the 5 of Cups and the Knight of Discs. So in this case, that's a life support card and a structural card. The 5 of Cups. I've been finding it harder and harder to catch my breath, and eventually it dawns on me that the oxygen system has shut itself off. I fixed it, but what caused it to break? Pull from the tower. Okay. Fun fact, I actually worked in environmental control and life support systems for NASA when I was in college. So, of course, I was able to fix the oxygen generator. All right, so we got that question. Oxygen went out. We don't know why. Added to the repairs and the dilapidation of the ship. That's great. And then the Knight of Pentacles. So that is over here. Structures, right? Structures. Or the Jack of Pentacles. I lose power throughout the ship, and while I'm trying to fix it, the backup generator fails too. I managed to restore power, but I need to cannibalize parts from the backup generator, which will never work again. Pull from the tower. Do not replace this block at the top of the tower. Remove it from the game instead. Alright. This again. Cannibalizing my backup generator, no big deal. I think I'll... Remove it from the game entirely. Okay. Put that over there. Yes, Jax. That's awesome. Yes. Knights are Jax. All right, so that's the end of day 2. So now I get to record another audio log. Day 2, Salvage ship the Wretched, flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. We had a couple breakdowns in the oxygen bypass system, as well as the power. I had to cannibalize some parts from the backup generator in order to keep power in the ship. So that'll never work again. I don't know what caused the oxygen failure. I'm hoping that thing isn't lurking in the walls, biting apart my oxygen tubes. There were some teeth marks on the tubes, but haven't seen it yet. That's it for day 2. This is Mariah Ripley, last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. On to day 3. As long as I don't cannibalize the other crew members, all's good. Oh, I don't know. There is a whole suit for crew. I just rolled a 4. So we get 4 cards to deal with today. I pulled one that I can't use. I guess I do have knights and knaves. I said knaves or jacks. I'm gonna get rid of knights. And pull again. Alright. I have the Jack of Swords, the 3 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords. All 4 about the alien! Yay! Swords are about the creature, so we're gonna have 4 things about the creature to address. Let's go. Alright, let's start in order. Creature. The 4 of Swords. Down one of the long, straight corridors between rooms on the ship, I follow gouges in the walls and the floor left by the creature. I think it was left behind by its fierce claws, dragging along the interior walls. Luckily, I remember these marks from the first time we fought it, so they're not new. There's still a haunting reminder of what it did to my crew. And they still also represent something that's wrong with my ship, so I have to pull from the tower again. Three of Swords. Describe the way the creature moves across outside of the ship. It starts with a thud. I don't think much of it. Maybe it's some space debris or a meteor going by. Maybe we bumped into an asteroid belt. But then I hear the skittering all across the top of the hull. And I'll never forget that sound as long as I live. There's nothing quite like it, and that's when I know that creature that I threw into the airlock is still here. But I'll try to focus. I'll try not to think about it too hard and what it might be doing to the outside of the ship. But even if I don't think about it, that doesn't mean that it's not happening. Oh, I gotta sit at the... Oh, there we go. Keep our ship balanced. There we go. It's the aliens' day, says Jewel. See, I'm not alone. I have all y'all to keep me company. 8 of Swords. You didn't see the creature properly because you were hiding, but you heard it. What did it sound like? You know what the creepiest thing about that creature was? It didn't sound like anything. There was no growling, No hissing, no sound of the unknown. It was just quiet. And then the only thing you hear is the screams when it leaps out of the darkness and you don't even hear it coming. Pull from the tower again. That one was loose. I had to pull it. And the Jack of Swords. The creature can survive out in the cold black of space where nothing should be able to live. Is it coming into your territory to destroy you? Or is it simply defending its domain? I can't imagine that in all of the blackness of space, it just has to come inside my ship. There's nothing I want to dominate. There's nothing I want to colonize in space. I am just on an island of my own making. So I have to think it's coming in to destroy me. It wants to be the only apex predator around. And that's the end of day 3. Day 3. Salvage ship the Wretched, flight engineer Mariah Ripley, reporting. Luckily nothing else broke today, but I did a walk around the ship and did a little bit of recollection about the creature that I knocked out into the airlock. What it sounded like, what it left behind, the bloodstains of my crew that are still on the walls. I had to take note of more things about the ship that are failing, that are unrepairable. And then I started to hear something, that the creature might still be out there. This is Mariah Ripley, last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. All right. I rolled a 6. Six cards. A little bit of everything. We'll start with the 3 of Cups. More life support systems. While I slept, the fire suppression system was activated. What caused the fire, and how will I make sure it doesn't happen again? Pull from the tower. Well, the fire suppression system, at least that didn't go off at the same time as the oxygen one. It leads me to believe, alongside the fact that my oxygen tubes were broken into, that creature's already found a way inside. There's not much I can do to prevent the fire suppression system from being activated again, aside from deactivating it entirely. I'll have to turn off the smoke alarms as it is, and if there's a fire in the hull, well, that's probably the least of my problems in the future. I think that creature, or the darkness of space, will probably get to me before a fire will. So, unplugging the system entirely, and diverting power to what would have been the backup generator. There's not much else I can do. The 7 of Swords. More lovely parts about the creature, and I have to pull from the tower. The 7 of Swords. The creature whispers to me through the ship's comms. I don't know how it does it. What do I hear before I kill the radio? You know, when you're in the hall, standing, waiting for it to devour you, the only thing you can hear are its footsteps. And that's what I hear through the radio. I hear the scratching of nails across metal. I hear the clack of its clawed feet across the floor. I don't think it's intentionally trying to reach out to me, but my radio picks up on something that's coming from within the ship itself. Pull from the tower. Seven of Wands. This one's about the crew. Thank God this one doesn't have a Jenga one. Before the creature came, I was in the very early stages of pursuing a relationship with another member of the crew. The last thing I said to him was, "We're gonna be okay." I wish I had just been honest. He was kind of a no-nonsense person who didn't believe in anyone's bullshit. It's kind of what I liked, you know? Out in the vastness of space, there's not really any room to hide your feelings. We're on an experimental mission, and as time has told us, it could have ended at any time. When you never know when day is going to be your last, or if you're even going to make it to your destination, if you're going to stay on course or get lost in the vacuum of space. There's really no reason to hide your feelings. But then I lied to him. I saw him bleeding out from that creature in the hallway, and it just took over. I just wanted him to believe we'd be okay. Seven of Cups, more life support. I had to climb into a narrow crawl space to fix some faulty lighting. I was squeezed between the cables and the hull of the ship. I guess this is what a TV dinner feels like. It's an old movie my dad liked. You know, maybe it would be easy if that thing came in here with me. I could just be over and done with. But still, I'm squeezed in between this narrow space trying to fix lighting. You know, because who wants to be in the dark? I'd at least like to die with the lights on. The Nine of Discs. Representing my ship's physical structure. My gravity drive failed. It's a long, slow process dragging myself over to it with no gravity, and the long day fixing it. But I managed to get it back up and running. I'll die with the lights on, but maybe not with my feet on the ground. Y'all just had a panic attack at that. Cool. the 9 of... Yes, okay. And finally, for day 4, 2 of Wands. This one's also about the crew. I found the journal of one of my crewmates. It was about something that they were missing from home. And you know what it was? It was Ensign Shepard. She always had the best sense of humor. She was from Florida, and this journal entry was all about how much she missed key lime pie. Not her family, not her dog, not anything like that. Just key lime pie. You know, I can't blame her. I'd go for some pie myself. Or, you know, reliable gravity and lights and literally anybody to talk to. Day 4, Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. The ship's getting pretty bad. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to keep it running. And that's not to mention the fact that I've barely made any progress on the distress beacon or on the engines getting back up to snuff. I found more evidence that the creature's been aboard inside the ship since I last saw it. It's been breaking our gravity drive, our fire support system. Hell, I think it even chewed apart the lighting that I was squeezed between the hull and the interior walls to fix. But this is the first day I've been able to think about my crew. Think about the people who were here before me and that will be left behind on the ship. They were my friends. The only friends I had out here. And now it's just me. Someone's got to tell their story. So I'm gonna get out of here. Alive. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. Day 5. Let's go. 5 more. We've got the King of Cups. GVV Niece is always with Floridians. My lemon meringue pie was a bomber. Oh no. I was just a simple comms officer taking a nap when the creature got me, says Kim. You know what? I'm going to write that backstory into this if it comes up. Alright, the King of Cups. I hear a skittering, scraping sound in the air vents. And I fear the creature or something else might have gotten aboard the ship. How do I make sure I don't attract its attention? Well, how do you outrun a silent but deadly creature? You also be silent and deadly. I'm not going to move around much. I'm going to mostly stay in the bridge. I'm not going to go back to my quarters. They're on the other side of the ship, and that walk's too far. It's too risky. But if I stay in the bridge, I'll be near the distress beacon, and I'll only leave the bridge for emergency repairs, which, granted, on a day-by-day basis are pretty frequent. Additionally, I'm supposed to not discard this card, place it where I can see it. If this is the 4th king, the creature has gained access and has found me. The game is over, so let's keep track of those kings. I've got the Queen of Discs, which is about the structure. I spend the day taking the engine apart completely and putting it back together in an attempt to fix it. But I'm not sure exactly how to do that, and I might have caused more damage than I fixed. I mean, after all, I was an engineer, but I was the only one. I'm not an expert in the... what is it called? Weyland-Butani. I'm not a Weyland-Butani mechanic. Pillow says I was a janitor who died off screen and got no character development, just another number to add to the creature's kill count. Oh, that Pillow cat. I said hi to her in the halls once. I remember her well. I found her logs. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Pull from the tower. Don't replace this block. Remove it from the game instead. If you say so. The 3 of discs. After I threw the creature out of the airlock, it's been hours trying to get through the windows of the observation deck, the only glass on the ship. I fear the integrity's been compromised, so spend an hour reinforcing them by welding sheets of sheet metal all over the inside. Blocks out that nice little view of the passing moons, but there's nothing more useful than making sure that the creature's not gonna break the glass of my ship. Unfortunately, I think the creature's already found a way inside. Oh, this one's getting hairy. I don't know if I can pull more from this tower. All right. We have the Ace of Swords. I found a way to distract the creature from its attempts to gain access to the ship. What is it? Well... You know, I don't have a distress beacon that I can actually share with the nearby spaceship Sevastopol or any other Weyland-Batani ships floating out around there, or any planetary beacons as well. But I can crank that radio up against the microphone and cause some massive feedback outside the ship. And when it's the only thing in space you can hear, it's probably pretty fucking annoying. At least it keeps it out of the hallways for now. I suspect that being the predator that it is, it has very, very good hearing and doesn't really like the sound of mic feedback broadcast across my PA system. That was in another movie that I liked when I was a kid. That, Quiet Place. Unfortunately, that means I also have to listen to the sound of feedback blaring over my own PA. But I'll take it over getting munched to death. And then finally, for day 5, the 8 of Cups. What does it feel like to look at the sensors and monitors and see nothing? How does it feel that I may never see land or light or have a conversation again? Well, right now, I'm only thinking about the present. I don't have a lot of time to dwell on what may or may not happen to me after this hour, this day, this week, this minute. I'm just trying to survive in the most literal sense. And it doesn't really give me much hope or helpfulness to think about what I might never do again. I know my ancestors survived worse. Alright, that was day 5. We're still alive. Day 5, Salvage ship the Wretched, Flight Engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. Gotten a little more clever, and the ship's holding itself together a little bit more than previous days. I took apart the engine, put it back together. I think I made things worse, but at least I feel like I'm making progress. And I rigged up an interesting PA sound feedback system to keep that alien outside of my ship for at least another day or two. Maybe it'll get used to it after a while, or maybe I'll finally get sick of hearing feedback across my PA. Ugh, God. See? Hear it? That now. Oh, man. I'm getting so tired of hearing that. But, other than that, I think I might actually be making a turning point. I think I'm finally starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Also boarded up the observation window, so even if it finds a way in through the inner pipes, it's not going to be breaking a hole in my ship. I'm getting ready to blast away from this motherfucker. I think that's probably my best shot at hope. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. Callie says, I was a supplies officer. I was caught alone in the cargo hold and munched after a short chase. I love, oh, Deb, I was the first one to get munched because I was on a spacewalk looking at the stars with the alien. That's an awesome beginning of an alien space movie, though. Let me just say, if you had innocuous Act 1 and then all of a sudden somebody's on a spacewalk and they get eaten, that may have happened in Event Horizon. I don't know. But if it didn't, I should definitely make a movie about that. All right, take 6. 5. Oh, curse this die. Lots of swords, lots of swords. But we're gonna start with the Queen of Cups. The door lock system fails when I'm on the bridge, and I have to spend a few hours forcing the doors open so I can get out. This is the bad part about isolating myself on the bridge, is when the door locks fail, then I can't get to the rest of the ship to repair it. Not great. That's a pickle, isn't it? Five of Swords. Something happened to the lights when the creature was near my hiding place. They flicker. And then finally they go out. Back when I was hiding in the bridge trying to get the door open, this was my first indication that something was wrong. That maybe the creature was getting a little bit more bold. It's not just hiding in the walls anymore. That one's pretty stuck in there. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Okay. You can see how great my ship is looking right now. Shout out to Mariah for surviving longer than the predicted 30 minutes and while rolling a bunch of 5s and 6s too. 10 of Swords. That's usually never good in actual tarot. I find something left behind by the creature once I actually get out of the bridge and manage to open the doors after a couple hours. It's this ooze I can't explain. It's not blood, but some kind of sticky green fluid. I guess it was drooling in anticipation of eating me. And then the 6 of Swords. I find myself muttering a short phrase over and over as like a catechism. What is it? Fingui Migna Betha Cthulhu Rye Migna Fatagan. Maybe it'll understand me. Maybe I'm just praying to a bigger fish. And then finally, the 7 of Discs. This one's about the crew. Before the creature came in, I was in the very... Wait, no, that wasn't 7 of Discs. What is the Discs? Structure. That's right. The many skirmishes with the creature caused a huge amount of internal and structural damage. Spend a day tracking down all the issues I can find and fixing them as best as I can. After I find all that green ooze on the hall outside of the bridge, I start to find it in other places as well. And you know what? I'm just gonna knuckle down and try to fix the ship at this point. Maybe I can use the ooze as glue. Or maybe I'm just going mad in the darkness of space. And that's it for day 6. Day 6, Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. Today was a pretty safe day. Well, at least if you're stuck inside a bridge for most of it. I got stuck inside the bridge. The door locks failed, and it proved to me that maybe locking myself in one room isn't the best course of action. But, you know, I got out eventually, and found all this ectoplasm from the alien. I don't want to know. But I pushed that aside, tried to stay out of the alien's way, and repaired a lot of the systems that had been broken before. My ship was worse than I thought. But, you know, with all due luck, maybe I'm finally getting close to be able to getting out of here. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. And my dice went right over the edge of the table. That's okay, I have lots more. Went off the thing. 2. Okay. All right. We've got Jack of Cups and 3 of Wands. Let's start with the 3 of Wands. I know that that's just crew stuff. The 3 of Wands. I had to use someone else's ID to access an area of the ship normally forbidden to me. The ID was the ID of a janitor. I think their name was Pillowcat. You know, I never really got to know Pillowcat, but her picture's cute on her ID. Maybe I should have been nicer. Either way, I used it to get access to the fuse box in the janitor's closet. I think I can use that to reroute power and get this thing going again. Get our engines going so we can finally get away from the alien. And the Knight of Cups. Or Jack of Cups, I suppose. Spend the day climbing around the engines, doing basic maintenance and trying to figure out what needs to be done to get the ship moving again. But I end the day as clueless as I began. Well, I guess that ID that I stole off Pillowcat's body wasn't super useful. I got access to new parts of the ship to repair, but I'm boggled. The developers of the game didn't expect Mariah Ripley to be this good at Jenga, did they? Never underestimate the janitor. Alright. Yeah, the camera sometimes moves. I have to move it back so you can see all of it. Also, I'm using my mouse, and the wires are crossing. I'm crossing the streams. Yeah, see? Watch it wobble. Haha! The alien is in the room with me. Alright. Day 7. Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. I didn't hear anything from the alien today. I stole a key card off a dead janitor named Pillowcat. R.I.P. Got into some areas of the ship that I wasn't normally allowed into to repair. But I don't know if I made anything better. I just found more problems. Look at this thing. How am I ever going to use this ship to get away from this alien? I might be better off causing the distress call at this point. 5. All right, Queen of Wands. I spend the day clearing bodies out of a small room that I intended to hole up in if the creature gets bored again. That's the other thing about the janitor's closet. It was full of bodies, and it was starting to smell. It could be a good hiding place. I guess the reason there were so many people here was they had the same idea. But I can see a vent up there. That must have been how it got them all packed in here like sardines. I'll have to weld that shut. We've got the Queen of Swords as well. What do I imagine the creature calls itself? I don't know. I mean, does it have language? Does it have a name? Does it have any perception of self? Or does it only want blood? Does it only want to eat, to destroy, to be alone? You know, in that case, maybe I should call it Solitaris. The lonely... solo. Just like me. We're just two lonely specimens floating in tens of thousands of millions of miles of space, trying to be the last one alone. All right. 5 of discs. I access one of the lander modules and hope I can use it to escape the ship. But the asteroid that struck before my engines failed damaged it beyond repair. And I jettison it into the black of space and hope it'll distract the creature. There's not much else hope for me now. The ship is really failing. I'm starting to wonder what there's left to fix. Two more. We've got the 8 of discs. A fire starts in one of the engines while I'm attempting to get the ship going again. Forced to jettison the fire, too. I swear I'm just losing pieces of the ship at this point. There's not much left to salvage. The creature detached one of the old habitat modules and set it adrift in space too. I managed to seal off that area of the ship before the creature can gain real access. So now, I've jettisoned a module with fire in it. I've jettisoned the lander module. Now, I have no access to the habitat module. In time, that would mean that my food supply will be dwindling too. I've got bigger problems. That's it for day 8. Really hoping somebody comes and saves me. Day 8, salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. It's getting harder to hold out hope that I'm ever going to salvage the ship. At this point, I'm jettisoning off parts of it more than I am saving it. I'm running out of parts. I've lost access to the habitat module. Half the damn thing's on fire. It looks like a distress beacon's gonna be my only hope. Somebody see this. Somebody hear this. Somebody intercept these logs and find me. You're my only hope. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. Sweating loudly, huh? Oh, thank God I rolled a 1. The Ace of Wands. While rummaging through the crew quarters, I found a tool I've been in need of. What was it? The next time you're told to pull from the tower, you may choose not to. Oh my God. I'm gonna hold on to that. All I did today was I went through the crew's belongings. Actually, I'll save this for the log. Day 9. Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. I didn't hear the creature today and nothing else broke. I used this as an opportunity to go through the crew's belongings, see if there's anything useful that I could find. And sure enough, I found something in my co-engineer's bag. His name is Davis. He was from New York. Big Boston descended New York Italian. And he had an Omni tool, something that could be used to fix just about any part of the ship. Of course, he didn't share it with me, didn't think that I was experienced enough to use his prized magical Omni tool. Rest in peace, asshole. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. Two. The 9 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands. Which member of the crew jumped into harm's way to try to protect others? And how much time did they buy you all? You know, there was somebody that I really liked. Somebody that I was really sad to see go. Their name was Callie. And, you know, they were always really quiet. Never really got to know them that well, but they earned us some time. Jumped in front of harm's way right as the creature was storming into the bridge for the first time. They didn't get very far, just had their laser pistol and a screwdriver. I'll never forget what it sounded like when they were eaten. But because of them, I wouldn't have survived otherwise. You know, Davis and everybody else who escaped with me, they eventually got eaten too, but I like to think their sacrifice was worth something. Kind of one of the things that's keeping me going. Callie salutes in the chat. And then the 9 of Swords, something else from the creature. I'm making you nervous with this camera, aren't I? Despite the thick hull of the ship separating me from the creature, I somehow know when it is near my section of the ship. I can hear the clattering on the plastic floors of its claws. And I see the lights flicker. Sometimes I think maybe it doesn't have anything to do with it chewing on the wires or messing around with the cords. There's this faint static that seems to follow it everywhere. Like it's emitting some kind of electromagnetic force that's interfering with the lights. Whenever I see the lights flicker, I know that it's nearby. I'm supposed to pull from this tower. But I think I'm going to use that Omni tool and not. Day 10. Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. I thought about one of my old colleagues today as I was walking around the halls where they died. And then I saw the lights flicker and I heard some of the aliens' footsteps. I was able to hide in that janitor's closet, and turns out that closing off the vent with a piece of sheet metal actually helped. Saved me for the day. And you know what? I decided not to even bother fixing the lights. I could have done a repair, but I think it has more to do with the alien than my system being broken. I guess I don't have that Omni tool anymore, but it earned me another day. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. And moving on to day 11. Five. This has to be the end. I don't do nights, so I'm gonna put that aside. Again with the nights. Okay. Oh my goodness, all the kings. Alright, we're gonna start with the Ace of Discs. After a short but terrifying spacewalk, I managed to boost the range of the Wretched's antenna. How did I ensure that the creature would not attack when I was outside the ship? Pull from the tower, don't discard this card, instead put it to one side, so I'll remember I have drawn it when the distress beacon is active. A roll of 5 or 6 is sufficient to remove a token from it. Interesting. I guess we'll get to that in a bit. So, how did I ensure the creature would not attack me while I was outside the ship? Well, you know, I had one more escape pod that I could jettison, so I did that, and that earned me about an hour to be able to get the antenna fixed, boosting the range of it for my distress beacon. Pull from the tower, don't discard this card, put it to one side. Remember how I've drawn it when the distress beacon is active. The distress beacon is not active yet, so we'll put it to the side for now. Pull from the tower, huh? Well, we'll see if this was worth it. Jenga music. Stuff. You're going back in. I mean, that's not technically Jenga rules, but it's not coming out, so. Sure, you're loose. All right. We've got the King of Discs as well. When I launched the creature out of the airlock, I couldn't seal it again. Every now and then the creature comes back to that hole in the side of my ship, scratching and prying at the single internal door that separates me from the cold black of space. It's unsettling to hear. But I'm out of sheet metal and I can't seal the airlock anymore. Not sure if it would really help. Do not discard this card. Place where I can see it. If this is the 4th king, the creature has gained access. Well, this is the 2nd king. So I guess we'll put it over here. We've also got the King of Wands. So as passing the officer's mess, I tried to avert my eyes from the carnage inside, but I'm sure I saw something move among the bodies. You know, I can hear the alien on the outside of the ship. I can hear it scratching. But there's this thing that it did to the bodies, some of them right before it killed them. It stuck its tail in their chest. I don't want to think about who would mate with this thing. How aliens make more aliens. But I've seen enough movies to maybe wonder if there's not something crawling inside those bodies. I need to get out of here quick. Also got the 9 of Wands. Make a list of the 5 best hiding places in the ship in the event that I need to use them. Well, you know, the bridge is kind of where I've been camping out. It's been pretty good. And there's also that janitor's closet that I sealed up the vent for. It works alright too. All things considered, I think that now that the observation deck has had all the glass windows sealed up with metal, it's not a bad place either. It's adjacent to the habitat module, which I did have to lock off temporarily to lock the alien in there, but if I need to go in and grab a cucumber or something, I guess I'd be close by. As for the other 2, I don't know. I'm really running out of spaces to hide. Finally, the 2 of discs. After I threw the creature out of the airlock, it spent hours. I already did that. Oh, no. Shortly before your engines failed, the ship was struck by a small asteroid that didn't appear on the scanners. That was how I know what that thud sounds like. Oxygen has slowly been leaking out of the hull where it's hit, but I spent a few hours fixing it. I guess I'm making myself useful. Gimme. And that's it for, what am I on? 11? 12? I don't even know. Let's say 12. I'm losing track. Because I'm very nearly alone. Day 12, Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley reporting. I think I'm coming to the end. I took stock of some of the hiding spaces. I cleared one of the oxygen tanks. But I made good progress today. I managed to boost the signal of the distress beacon using a spacewalk. And I didn't get eaten by the alien either. We are really coming down to the line, though. There's not much left of the ship that I can salvage. And if I can't get that distress beacon activated soon, that's pretty much it for me. I can also tell that I'm very close to that creature getting in. I've hidden up all the hiding spots, all the weak parts of the ship, but it still claws at the sides. This might be my last recording. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. Two. I don't do knights. 6 of cups. 6 of discs. Why are these the wrong side up? 6 of cups and 6 of discs. Okay, that would be life support systems and structure. Great. Life support systems, 6 of cups. My scanners keep showing a large object periodically disappearing from screen, only to show up again a few hours later. Is there something there, or is it a glitch? Honestly, at this point, I can't imagine that anything in this place is working, including the radar. Maybe it's just another asteroid. So I'm pretty sure that that creature isn't flying in space. It's in here with me. Luckily, I don't have to pull from the tower. And then the 6 of discs. I will have to pull from the tower for this. Yay! The sewage silo springs a link. It smells terrible, and I fixed it as quick as humanly possible. So I'm gonna die in a spaceship. I'm not gonna do it drowning in my own shit. Gimme. Well, day 13. Salvage ship the Wretched. Flight engineer Mariah Ripley. Survived another day, although barely, and wading through my own sewage. I made sure to fix that too. Seems futile at this point. Maybe I should be putting my energy into fixing the distress beam or doing something a little bit more urgent. But I don't know. I feel like I should still have some kind of dignity left when I do this. I guess we'll head on to the 2-week mark then. This is Mariah Ripley, the last survivor of the Wretched, signing off. Two. The 9 of Cups. And the King of Swords. The 9 of Cups. The proximity alarms keep sounding because of the creatures on the outside of the ship, and I had to disable them. Yeah, I know the creature's here. I don't need an alarm for it. The King of Swords. The past few nights I've been dreaming about the creature. And today these dreams came true. Because I have all 4 kings out. Which means the creatures gained access to the Wretched. And it found me. 2 weeks I survived. Repairing this hunk of junk of a ship. Thinking futilely that I would escape. That I could outrun an apex perfect organism with a bunch of man-made bullshit. I just hope it makes it quick. F in the chat, all 4 kings. But look at that ship that I left alive this whole time. You know, the ace of... What would have... Let me go back to our menu music here. So just to give you an impression of the metagame of this, what we were looking for was the Ace of Cups, because that's when you start to really get your beacon going. The Ace of Cups was literally 3 from the fucking bottom. So what a rigged, unfortunate circumstance that was. I would have to go through the whole fucking game and survive for just weeks with this tower trying to get to the Ace of Cups long enough to do my distress beacon. But here's the thing about this game. This is the debriefing. What happened? Did you light the beacon? Did rescue come, snatching you away from a cold, lonely death? Or did the creature take you? Did you stare into its maw as it descended, one final victim to a nameless horror? You tried to repair the engines. You had hope that it could be done. Everything you knew about the situation you were in told you it could be done. This was a lie. You've been telling a story during this game, but the story began before you drew the first card. The rules in this book are the story, and they were told to you by an unreliable narrator. The human capacity for hope, and the desire to survive against all odds. There was never any hope of you repairing the ship. No matter how many tasks you completed, the engines were never going to fire again. The best you could do was survive for long enough for help to come, and even that was unlikely. You were doomed from the start, and somewhere inside you knew this, even as you were desperately clinging to hope. You may not have survived, but the log of your final days lives on. What becomes of it now? Will it be found by a salvage ship much like yours to serve as a warning for those intending to brave the cold depths of space? Did you pass it on to your rescuers, a chronicle of what you went through? Or is it lost forever, adrift in the black where nobody will hear your words again? When you close this book and put down this game, what will become of all you've done here? And then it says on the last page, you are unlikely to be remembered. And that is the Wretched. What a fascinating, fun RPG from, let me see what the name of this developer is. I know it says it in the description. Oh no, sorry. You can find this in the description. Chris Bissett is the developer of this. Their company is Loot the Room Games. So Loot the Room is the developer of this. Very, very Alien-esque. Very, very Alien Isolation. I like this a lot. I think this Jenga tower, coupled with the music that they provide, I love Nine Inch Nails, so this musical soundtrack is awesome. Very stressful to try to do a Jenga game with this soundtrack. Hopefully that was as fun to watch as it was to play. I had a lot of fun. This was a very cool experience. Solo RPGs can kind of be hit and miss, but I think this was a great use of a journaling mechanic, quote-unquote journaling mechanic, for a solo RPG, utilizing a deck, a die, and a Jenga tower. Hats off devs, I agree, Pillow Cat, for sure. And also, writing some of you into the Crew Chronicles was a lot of fun as well. Thank you for keeping me company in the vastness of space. Like I said, you can check out the developer. You can buy this game for yourself on itch.io. Also, the reason I have it is because it was included in the bundle for racial justice that I got last year from itch.io. So if you happen to pick up the bundle for racial justice yourself last year, you already have access to this. You already have this game. Next week we'll be doing regular tarot at noon on Saturday. I'll be doing giveaways for tarot in the chat. And then 2 weeks from now, I know we're doing another RPG. I can't remember what the hell it was though. Let me look it up. It is a multiplayer spooky RPG. I know that much because I specifically went out of my way to do. Is it Surreal Estate? Are we doing Surreal Estate? Streams in October. No, it's Seaman's-Garn. That's right. 2 weeks from now, our next breakout role episode is Seaman's-Garn, which is a multiplayer RPG when pirates tell tall tales about sea monsters. That one's a lot of fun. I've got some friends I'm going to bring in for that. Greg, if you're watching, I'm probably going to get you to participate in that if you're around. Basically, we're all going to be pirates. We're all going to be sitting around having mead and telling stories about sea monsters. But there's some fun mechanics in there where you can actually contradict the tall tales of the other pirates and be like, I know I was there and I remember it differently. That's going to be in 2 weeks on October 30th, Halloween weekend at noon. But next week, October 23rd at noon, we'll be doing tarot giveaways in the chat. You have that to look forward to next Saturday. And then Octopunk Monthly update at the end of the month. So yeah, if you are on Patreon, I will be doing a stream on Patreon on Monday at noon Eastern for $5 nut patrons. That is going to be my live scream press kit development stream. So if you want to see live screamers, sort of a first look at what the development for that's like, how I'm going to pitch it to financiers, how to make a pitch deck, all that sort of stuff, come join me for my $5 live stream on Patreon on Monday at noon. So that'll be on YouTube as well for patrons. If you like this, tell your friends, go buy it for yourself, play it for yourself, give it a try. I hope this was a cool format to be able to do it in. I think it worked pretty well, having a camera on that Jenga tower over there. That's a lot of fun. And Mom says, Octomom Terry, yeah, I'm going to have Octomom on and do a stream for her, because it's not almost Sagittarius season, but it will be soonish, I guess in a month. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already for lots more streams and fun content on this YouTube channel. And as always, stay great, hydrate, and have a happy time zone.